What's up YouTube, Mr. MSC here, and today I want to talk through shortcuts that we use in Diablo 2 speedrunning. Now these are all of the tiny little ways that we manage to save additional time. This is not shortcuts in the way of like using glitches with wave skipping or anything. We've already talked about that in another video. This isn't shortcuts of like, oh, you can go through this path or knowing your map. Again, go find map hack in your mind and watch that video to learn all about those shortcuts. But this is just kind of the easy shortcuts that you can have that additionally are going to be extremely good, not just within speedrunning, but just playing the game. Like honestly, this improves my gameplay overall just a lot when I'm playing on any character, because it just makes it more fun, easier to get through some of the more tedious parts. So with that, let's dive in. The first thing that we have is simply your management of moving stuff around, right? These are your hotkeys. So when you are control clicking, this is going to be moving an item back and forth between whatever it is. If it's your cube, and it's the same idea. So I can very quickly move things back and forth by doing such, right? So that's just your control click. Obviously, if you just have the inventory, this is to drop it on the ground as well, which is also very useful, right? So many times when you're running, you want to be running and you want to be dropping things on the ground as you're going or something. And that's a great way to do that while saving time. That, or again, bouncing back and forth between the cube. Additionally, you can also control click items from your character, but you can't control click them back on. You have to shift click them back on. So control shift, control shift, control shift. So this will be really useful when you have like Kalim's flail, or when you have, you know, the Act 2 staff or whatever. You can cube it over here, get your item off, shift it on. And additionally, if you just have another weapon, for instance, let me just get, or item of any kind, right? You can, using shift will actually replace it. So it's a nice and easy way to just get the item completely replaced on your character. Again, small hotkey that can be very helpful. So those are really the main ones. The last piece for the hotkeys, I would say, is they have added, if you go into your settings and your controls, there is now the cube. So you can put a hotkey for your hratli cube, so you can be running and you can just open right to cube, which can be really helpful, especially because you can actually pick things up and put them into the cube now from the ground, right? I can literally run, grab something, put it in my cube from the ground. So this can be another way, again, to save you some time, not make it so you have to get it, grab it, you know, I mean, putting it over there is not bad, but sometimes when you just want to get to your cube, that's easy. You can do it from your stash as well. So I set mine on space, but you'll have to choose your own. So that's going to be the first one. Very easy for hotkeys. The second shortcut, and this one I use all the time in speedrunning, and you'll use all the time as well, is just dropping town portals. I call it like forward-backward strategies, essentially. But the main idea is you don't want to be doubling up on where you run, right? If I'm going right here, and let's say I want to go and, you know, do the Den of Evil, but also get to the Cold Plains. Well, dropping a TP right here is going to be my best course of action, because I know at this cross, the left is going to go to the Den of Evil, right? Obviously over here. Pretend I don't have teleport. I'm a speedrunner. Even if I have teleport still. And the right is going to go to the Cold Plains. So it makes more sense, rather than run over there, kill there, save quit, or open a town portal, and then run all the way back out and do it again, to just set this town portal, and then go over to the Cold Plains, get this waypoint, go back home, and now I can go through this portal, and I can go and clear the den, and when I'm done with the den, I'll now have the Cold Plains, right? So basically, anytime you're coming across a point of interest, your Halls of the Dead, your Den of Evil, your Maggot Lair, any of the points of interest, your Spider Cavern even sometimes, your Flare Jungle or Flare Dungeon, a lot of times it is just a good idea to drop a town portal, because you can always go find a waypoint, come back to it, and now you're in a good spot. Now, sometimes you'll even be doing this. Let's say you're in Act 2 and you're in the dry hills. You don't find, the waypoint or anything in the dry hills, but, oh, I found Halls of the Dead. Let's pretend I don't have the waypoint. Or let's pretend I didn't find Halls of the Dead. Let's say I came in and immediately I found the Far Oasis. I can literally just set a portal at the dry hills here and then go forward, find a waypoint in the Far Oasis or even the Lost City, and then take that back and go back and look for the halls, right? So in this case, like, it didn't work out super well because the waypoint for the maggot or for the Far Oasis is, who even knows? Somewhere that's maybe right at the exit. No. All right. Well, we found the maggot lair. In this case, I'd go forward and I'd find the Lost City waypoint. And now I know where the maggot lair is, and then I can just run back to the maggot lair and then just run forward through here, right? So, okay, I've got that. So now I would go back to town, go through this teepee, go find the Halls of the Dead, save quit, go back to the Lost City waypoint, go back to the maggot lair, save quit, go back to the Lost City waypoint, and then go to the Valley of Snakes, right? So that would be my path through there. And again, the more that you do this, the more that you're going to find this is the best way to do it, right? Oh, I just drop a TP, go get the waypoint, come back. Anytime that you find yourself running over the same path twice, a lot of times you should have left a TP. So just something good to note. The third thing is going to be tomes, so refilling your tomes. So over here, you can see if you come to like Drognin, I can always go and refill my scrolls and refill my tomes. But let's say that I am down at Lysander and I want to replenish my scrolls. And I'm actually going to go get an empty book. So let's say I'm down at Lysander or I'm at Farah and I want to replenish my scrolls. What can I do? Because I can't buy scrolls from this vendor. You can actually just take this and sell it. And you'll note that the quantity is now 20 out of 20. So if you take one of your tomes or any of these, your strangling gas potions or any gas potions, exploding potions, any of those, your tomes, if you take arrows, bolts, any of that, you sell them to a vendor and then buy them back, it will always come back at max quantity. Now, the one thing you have to worry about in speedrunning is this will cost extra gold, right? Like when it's max, it's now 801 for a max tome, and you can buy a tome for, 200-300. So you have to be aware that, okay, selling and rebuying a tome of TP will actually cost a little bit, or selling and rebuying your strangling gas potions will be 1,000 gold to buy them back. If you don't have that gold, you might just be without them. Yeah, really nice for arrows and bolts as well. That can be very simple. But additionally, you can use it for...
Greetings.
Wait. Oh, I'm in hell. Let me go down to normal. You can use it for something like javelins even, right? So this is just going to be on these white javelins right here. I'll just grab some javs. Let me go shift them on using our hotkeys. And let me throw some javs. You won't be able to get your jabs like that, no. But, okay, so they're 87 out of 90. I can sell them, buy them back, and now my jabs are 90 out of 90. And that is a very simple way for any of your characters to be able to do that. Again, when you're not at a vendor that can repair, that has the jabs, that has arrows and bolts, that has TPs, any of that stuff. This doesn't, of course, work with all of the items in the game. Don't go selling your, like, unique titans and stuff, whatever. But for your white items like that, you're able to do that. The next thing is going to be Act 2 travel. So when you're in Act 2, or the best way to do it, I should say, there's a couple ways. When you start the game in Act 2, or you transfer over from Act 1, you will find yourself all the way down here at Warif. And of course, it's a long run to get up to Farah, and even longer to this waypoint. So, a faster way than running all the way to this waypoint is to literally talk to Warif, go here, and use the Act 1 waypoint to travel wherever it is that you want to travel. So we can look at that again. I can just enter the game, talk to Warif, go west. That will not work with Death Titans, no. And this is a faster way to get to not just the Lost City, but literally any of your waypoints. If you're ever starting in Act 2, it's always faster to go through in Act 1 rather than go through, run all the way up to this waypoint in Act 2. So oftentimes, whenever we start a game in Act 2, we immediately go through to Act 1 and then go from there. And again, this is a trick you'll use on your level 98 farming characters, on anything and every character. Whenever you start in Act 2, it's just going to be faster. Even with the load screen, unless you're maybe on like console, because console load screens are super, super long. Obviously, for Diablo 2 speedrunning, the load screens aren't counted, so that's even faster. But even with the load screen time, it's still faster than running all the way up to get this waypoint. The other thing that can be faster is when you are in Act 2 and you have finished Duriel. I'll actually give you a full breakdown because, well, first we'll go to Indariel and then we'll go to Duriel. So for Indariel, she is going to be a nice and easy kill. And when you have finished killing her, come on. Nope. There we go. When you have finished killing her, you could either A, open up a portal, go to town, run through to Warif, and talk to him, or B, you can just leave the game, join the game, again, especially for speedrunning with load times, and Warif will be standing right next to you because he wants to talk to you, and then you can travel east. So that's a very simple way to get through right there. Now for Duriel, once you kill Duriel, you have to go through and talk at the end of Tyrael, right? When you talk to Tyrael, I'm not going to do the whole process there because finding his right tomb and stuff. When you talk to Tyrael, you will then be able, he'll open a TP and you'll be right here. Now, you need to talk to Jurhin. What is the fastest way to talk to Jurhin? Is it running all the way over there? It is not. So as soon as you talk to Tyrael, you will exit the game, re-enter the game, and now you can just run straight up and you are a closer distance to Jurhin than if you were running from all the way over here. So this is a nice way to save a few seconds right there. And additionally, at this point, you now need to talk to Mashif, who again is all the way on the opposite side of the map. And the fastest way to do that is just right here, open a TP, and go to Mashif. Right? So just a nice, easy way to get across. Now, Act 3 is also kind of annoying, especially because Hratli will repair the first time you talk to her, but after that, or him. Is Hratli a girl or a guy, actually? I don't know. Looks like a guy. Hratli, you will repair one time with him, and then he moves all the way over here. And it's super annoying and super awful to, I don't know. He's a dude. To like run all the way over to repair. So the better thing to do whenever you need to repair in Act 2 is you just go back to loot gholein and you can just run over to Farah, repair at Farah, and then go back and go to whatever waypoint you want to go to right there. So that's a nice easy shortcut to get your repairs in. Additionally, for mercenaries, if you want to resurrect a mercenary, you can go to Act 2 or you can go to Act 1. Because again, the Act 3 mercenary, right, there's Kasha. Because the Act 3 mercenary, again, for hire is all the way over here, and that's just such a long way there and back. So unless you're specifically wanting to hire an Act 3 mercenary out, a lot of times just easier to go to Act 2 or Act 1, repair there, and then go back to the waypoint. Other tips. For Act 3, it can actually be faster to do a similar idea. Let's say you come right over to Act 3, but let's say you don't need to talk to Ormus. Because a lot of times, you know, when you finish Act 2, you get into Act 3, and you do want to go talk to Ormus, buy your potions, do all that stuff. But if you don't want to talk to Ormus, and you're speedrunning especially, you can actually quit the game, go to a new difficulty. So let's say you're a Nightmare Hell. Quit the game, go back to the difficulty you were in, and now I can go to the Kurast docks, and I have avoided all of this runtime. Now, this is for speedrunning, pretty much specifically, because all of that is a lot of load times in there, and it would probably be about the same time to just run that entire way. But this is the way that you could get to the waypoint to then go forward. And you don't, you can avoid that piece, right? Now, some way you do use this outside of speedrunning is when you're doing like LK runs, for example, right? You're like, okay, I do my LK runs, I get all my stuff. Okay, I've finished it. You can actually go to town, go to Act 4, and then you can quit the game, restart the game, and now you're in Act 4, and you can go back to the lower Kurast. Right? So that's the way that you can save a little time of all of the run back through Act 3. This is a shortcut that people do sometimes use. This depends highly on your load times, though, because if you have bad load times, it may end up being slower in D2R because it is a little slower. In LOD, this 100% was the way that you did this. So that can be nice. Additionally, if you have, for instance, let's say the Jidbin, and you want to, or the Gade figurine, excuse me, and you want to turn it into the Golden Bird, when you're in Act 3, you can quit the game, come back in, and now you're down at Mashif, and you can talk to him, he'll turn it into the Golden Bird, and then you can go turn it in. You actually don't have to talk to Kane with the Golden Bird, you can actually just go right to Alcor, right? So, just heads up for something for you to know there. Other shortcuts, a lot of them are knowing when to save and quit. And this is something that I kind of talked about, right? When you finish Act 1 in Dario, there's that save quit right there. Or if you're backtracking through and let's say, I go and I get the Hratli cube. Okay? But I have the Far Oasis waypoint. If I get the Hratli cube, it is better for me to save quit. So let's pretend, let's do an exercise. Right? I go through and let's pretend like I'm in there and I've gotten the Hratli cube. Cool. At this point, I could either drop a portal, go through the portal, run all the way over to the waypoint and then use the waypoint, or I could save quit, load up again for speedrunning. Notice this really nice. Talk to Warav. And now I'm at the Far Oasis. And this is actually a faster way and will save more time than opening the portal, getting through, and running all the way across to the waypoint in Act 2. Again, this is a speedrun specific one just for that. Other shortcuts that can be nice. Simply throwing your cube on the ground to get stuff out of your cube. So you'll use this plenty of the time. You'll be like, I just want to empty it. That can be an easy way to get there. And then one of my favorites, I'll actually put this out and take this out. One of my favorite ways is actually how you manage your potions. So I will do this. We'll just make some space. So managing potions with your belt, right? Let's say you want to buy and fill up potions. First off, it's just annoying if I'm just trying to right click. This is as fast as I can right click. If I'm trying to left click, it's annoying because it's not lined up. So I got to kind of like hover down. And that's just taking forever, right? So number one is going to be the easiest way. I have my belt filled. I take my belt off. I put it back on. My belt is no longer filled and I have all the potions. I hold shift. I right click health pots. I right click mana pots. I pop the belt again. And I now have filled up on potions very easily, right? So that can be a nice way. Additionally, if you have any open slots when you're buying potions, those will be filled with whatever you shift. So if I want 3 sets of mana and 1 set of health, I just do the mana first and then that. If I want 2 sets of health and 2 sets of mana, I just do this. Additionally, I can always shift potions in and out of my belt. So if I want to make space, again with the hotkeys, I can kind of do this. Okay, I want to put, more manas in there. Nope, actually I want health. Actually, I want rejuves in that slot, So you can do all that stuff. That is the first one. So that is the first easiest way to kind of bounce your potions. But let's say you don't have a big belt yet, right? Well, what you can do, or you want to get thawings or antidotes or stamina potions, and those aren't in your belt, which, by the way, you can put those in your belt. They won't go there directly, but you can put them there, and then you can shift click them as well. So this can be a nice way to chug through all your potions if you want to get a lot of stamina or thawing or antidote or anything. But let's say you're right here and, okay, I filled my belt up and I want to actually get potions. Well, what you can do is one of 2 things. You can either do it right here in LOD or in D2R, but you need to have a steady mouse. And what you're going to do is you're going to press click and enter. And you can actually do a fast buy of the potions by doing left click and enter. However, if your mouse moves even a pixel, it will bork it up. Right? So you can see me moving my mouse. It gets all messed up. So you literally have to have your mouse perfectly still while you do this. Now, the second thing you can do is you can go to old graphics, and there your mouse can move actually. And it's fine. And it doesn't mess it up nearly as much. You don't have to be pixel perfect in old graphics. So this is where sometimes you'll see us, go into the old graphics for it because it is easier. And you'll find the timing for it. You have to be pretty rapid fire, but even if you're not perfect with it, it's still faster than how slow it is to do it without pressing enter. So that is a way to, they need to fix the actual size of it. It's very messed up. It's messed up that the pixel is like slightly off on the enter and stuff. So, it literally is, you get that one pixel. I really hope they fix it someday. But that is going to be your potion management. And again, I do find that to be helpful for honestly any classes. Okay, I have a character, I'm in the end game, I'm doing Ubers, I want to chug some thawing potions, I want to chug some antidote potions, Okay, I can just go here really fast, buy some antidotes really quick with that, buy some thawings really quick, because remember each one of these is 30 seconds of 50 cold res or 30 seconds of 50 poison res, and 10 max res of each of those. So I now have 85 cold and 85 poison for, let's see, if I drank 9 of them, then that'd be what, 4.5 minutes. And you can put scrolls in your belt as well. By the way, you can put, honestly, a lot of any of these consumables like this in your belt. So that can be a way to run with that. That's not really a speed shortcut so much as just a thing that you can do if you want to do. Last thing I will say is I want to show this. So casting portals. you'll note that my character is using a cast animation to cast a portal. What does this mean? It means it can be interrupted. So if I'm trying to open a portal and I'm being attacked, I can actually have that interrupted by the monsters hitting me. I mean, normal, this character won't, but that can be a thing. It can be very annoying. Where will you not have it? In your belt and right-clicking straight out of your inventory. So a way to save a frame, but also ensure a TP actually drops, is by using it from your belt or from your inventory while you're moving. So that is why you'll see us go into our inventory to make sure that we get a portal down, because if we do it with our hotkey setup right here in the cast, then we're actually casting it. It can be interrupted. It may not happen. Plus it stops us to cast it, which we don't always want. So it can be just a lot safer and faster to do it that way. So yeah, I think that kind of covers all of the hotkeys shortcuts that we use when we're kind of speedrunning here, playing through. Again, some of it's just going to be a little bit of thought, right? It's faster to save and quit than it is to run the distance. And you'll even find this, for instance, when you are in, Act 1. Let's say I'm over here and I'm at Charcy and I'm shopping and I buy something. Okay, I got this armor. Cool. How is it faster to get to this waypoint? With load times being considered in a speed run, it's actually faster to quit and relog, because I've lost almost no time to transfer from Charcy to right here, and right here is closer to the waypoint. So just a lot of small, tiny details, but they will add up and they will improve your times. So anyways, I hope that this was useful. I hope you enjoyed it, got something out of it. Again, whether you're a speedrunner or not, I think that many of these tips can apply beyond speedrunning and just to Diablo in general. So with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. If I missed any, or if there's any cool shortcuts that you use, please leave them in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, YouTube. Have a good one.